Most certainly in our prom outfits.
Yeah, we are matching. We are, and we're joined by our chaperones here. We have Mina, Dan, and Swagoo in the Texas denim. He's bringing it today. All right, let's go, right? We're on the eve of the divisional games. We're going to talk first about Sam Darnold because this popped up this week. This surprise addition to the injury report, the oblique injury, listed as questionable for tomorrow's game against the Niners, but he has said he's good to go. Here's Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald with an update. This was just moments ago.
Talking about Sam, heard what he said yesterday to you guys. That's I see it the same way. So we're listing him as questionable. Really optimistic he's going to be able to play. And right now we're going through all the protocol. One out of caution to make sure we're ready to go, and we'll test it out tomorrow to kind of make the final decision. But we're optimistic he's going to play, and if he doesn't, or at some point he doesn't, then Drew's ready to go, and that's why Drew's here. He's doing a great job.
All right, let's start with our quarterback, Dan. That oblique injury. How do you think that could potentially affect
moves and how he drives the football? We got to remember that this is a quarterback that doesn't play as a statue. In this offense with Clint Kubiak as their play caller, they move him around a ton. They boot him a ton. They keeper game a ton. They get him in the play action game. And so to be able to do that, obviously that oblique and their ability to turn and then get away from people is going to be a really big deal. So I would pay attention early on, play calling wise from Seattle. Are they doing that? And then I think the second thing is, can he drive the football? A lot of quarterbacks, when they drive the football, it's a torque. It's a complete turn of your upper body, really from the hips up. And so I think paying attention early on to just the play calls, do they fall in line with who Seattle is? Because I think if they do, that tells me they feel good about the injury. If they're a little bit more keeping him stationary, I think that oblique's got something to it.
Well, the good news is I don't believe it'll strain his oblique to do what I expect them to do very heavily in this game, which is he's going to hand the ball off to the running backs. The last time these teams played in Week 18, Seattle ran the ball very efficiently. They used 2 running backs, 21 personnel. They put the fullback on the field at the second highest rate of the season, and when they did so, for 11 yards, they averaged over 6 yards a clip. This Niners run defense is a glaring weakness. Now, this is where Dan's point about the boots comes in. They did hit on a couple of shot plays off of play action off of that. And Sam, they do tend to put him under center and boot him. And so that would be something you would want to keep an eye on, as Dan said, because at some point, the Niners are going to get, when the Seahawks put 21 personnel, the Niners are going to add an extra linebacker, and there will be opportunities to throw. But I do expect a very run-heavy game plan because it is what worked in Week 18, and I don't see this defense improving against it.
Yeah, MK, I agree with you. From the 2020 end, obviously, their plan should be the same, but this team has to get better in the red zone. This was a 13-3 game with some opportunities in that area of the field. Y'all not going to believe where Seattle ranks after Week 8 in the NFL in the red zone. They are 3rd worst to the Jets and the Saints. And I'm not sure if that's the inability to run. Obviously, the field gets condensed, but Sam Darnold has to make good decisions when they do call on him to make a play with this arm in the red zone, not take those negative plays, but more importantly, get points. I think that's going to be critical. I don't know if, like we saw the San Francisco defense a few weeks ago, and we didn't think that they would have a shot to do anything in the playoffs based on how they played against the Chicago Bears. This defense is playing better, and the red zone is one of their strengths. So Seattle has to pay close attention. I expect it to be a low-scoring game like it was the first time. But when they get in the red area, they got to capitalize and at least get in the end zone once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, both games, listen, you want to hit the under on this if you have the option. But because the games were so low scoring, Swagoo mentioned it, only 3 points on the board for the Niners 2 weeks ago. No George Kittle. What can they do?
I don't know. Kyle Shanahan better pull out his Ethan Hunt bag because this does feel like mission impossible for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, we watched last week, and Kyle Shanahan was able to do that. But the difference between Vic Fangio's defense and Mike Macdonald's is I knew exactly, and they knew exactly where Vic Fangio's defense would line up. He knew Demarcus Robinson would have that opportunity for that one-on-one, or Jawan Jennings could find the space within the three deep zone. It's not the same thing this week. And so how do you get Kyle Juszczyk involved as we saw in the second half? Christian McCaffrey free of guys like Nick Eamon-Warry and also backers who can run sideline to sideline and tackle. The difficulty in this game is you do not have the matchup in your favor anywhere but the running back position. And I would have to guess for Mike McDonald, he would have everyone keyed in on CMC.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll see a Jennings to CMC fun, some trickeration like we did last week. But let's check out our picks. And I hate to make you nervous, Mina, but
not nervous at all.
No.
Off the jump.
Okay. So, we're all, this is the gong. We're all, there it is.
Very comfortable.
Gong is a little late, on this.
Yeah, one. I mean, because we've done so well with the gong this year.
Have we?
I don't think it's as much of an issue as it used to be. And if we're all wrong here, then football's all flubbed up.
And if we're all wrong, the Niners have pulled off the impossible yet again. All right, the Hawks just a win away from their 5th conference championship game. They haven't been there since 2014. Okay, time now for some top stories. Starting in H-Town, Texans wide receiver Nico Collins has been ruled out for Sunday's game at the Patriots due to a concussion. Oh, no. Collins led Houston in catches, receiving yards, tied for the team lead for receiving touchdowns. RC said huge. Is it absolutely? That is a huge, huge loss. Okay, Mike Vrabel said Patriots cornerback Christian Gonzalez is questionable heading into their matchup with the Texans. Gonzalez suffered a concussion in their win last week against the Chargers. And then we go to Los Angeles, where Matthew Stafford is dealing with a sprained right index finger. He is expected to play after being a full participant in practice all week. Good news for the Rams. Starting right guard Kevin Dotson is expected to start in this one. That's important. He missed the last 3 games with an ankle injury. And, well, Stafford's throwing hand that could be tested Sunday. It's going to be the coldest game, by the way, of his NFL career. The kickoff at Soldier Field is expected to be 21 degrees. It's going to feel like zero with the wind chill. What did you say?
Jesus!
Yeah, wind gusts could get, I thought that's what you said, over 25 miles an hour. There is a 55% chance of snow. And Matthew Stafford has not played in freezing temperatures very much, only 6 starts. Pretty well, though, 14 passing touchdowns, 3 picks, 3-3 record. Here's his head coach, Sean McVay, on the game plan for the weather.
I'm going shirtless, Gary. No, you know what? I will say this. Matthew, since he got here, he introduced me to the wetsuit stuff, so I'll wear that. Maybe I'll have a heated vest. I've had some guys that have had that, so I try. Here's what I do know. I can't think about too many things. I trust whatever Brennan Berger's got ready for me. I'm going to actually get with him after we get done with practice today. He'll show me everything that he's got. Usually it's a thumbs up, and so it's not going to – hey, listen, I don't give a crap about me being warm or cold. That doesn't matter at all. It's about our players, but Berg takes good care of me.
Shout out to Brendan Berger, the Rams Senior Director of Equipment, getting
Look at Marcus's face. Look at Marcus's face. What's wrong with your face, man?
Are you just thinking
He's so scared of cold.
Brother.
Yeah.
Brother,
Not for you.
Y'all know how I feel about this.
Marcus,
we
gotta
had a
get
game,
scuba suits. You and me,
year.
matching scuba suits.
We had a game last year in Kansas City. You're not supposed to play in this. I will stand on that hill and down that hill. You're not supposed to play in anything that feels like 0 degrees.
Oh my gosh!
Postpone the game.
The first time I met RC was in that 2010 Super Bowl.
Miserable.
It was the Ice Bowl in Dallas, and you were walking around in a sleeveless shirt.
Yeah, because it was early. I wasn't expecting that.
You were trying to prove he was tough.
Nobody had bought coats. We were all scrambling for coats down there. This is a tough challenge for that Bears defense, because you know what is going to heat up? That's that Rams offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this game is about personnel and identity. And I know Mina will understand this as well. You watch the Chicago Bears really shift identity in the second half of this game against the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. And we also saw the Carolina Panthers do the exact same thing against the Rams last week. They brought more pressure than normal. They played more man-to-man on the back end than normal. And so I'm wondering who Dennis Allen will want his team to be throughout this game. And I think the other thing that's going to be big, especially when I see the weather, is matching up against the Rams' 13 personnel. They can do everything out of 13 personnel. Run the ball, play action, involve Puka Nacua in quick screens, and also deep passing down the field and through play action. And so to me, it's going to be Dennis Allen's ability to stay sort of up to beat with Sean McVay and what he wants to do with his personnel, starting with Puka Nacua.
RC, when you saw that it was going to be 0 degrees, you said, Jesus. There's a verse in the Bible, Matthew 18, that says, where 2 or 3 or more are gathered, I am there.
I am there.
They better gather 2 people.
I am there. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
How do you gather enough to stop Puka? Because I think the thing that makes him so challenging is the way that shows him in their offense. Number one, they could put him at that 3 spot, closest to that offensive tackle. Great feel. And then so difficult to tackle. I can't imagine how difficult it's going to be to tackle Puka Nacua in 0 degree weather. They'll put him in the backfield. When he's in the backfield, are you really going to line up a linebacker on him? Because last week, Green Bay gutted you on that very similar thing. RC, you mentioned it. Some of these perimeter screens down in the red zone. These are these extended handoffs. He's so strong with the ball in his hand. By the way, those are 3 different alignments that they've put him in. Now you get the jet motion. You can hand it off to him. Once again, you've got to tackle out on the perimeter in space. And then he's still capable to align in his traditional number 1 wide receiver alignment in those in-breakers. Those in-breakers. So I think for Dennis Allen, I'd be interested. Does he try to double him up in the field of play? Not in the red zone maybe, but does he try to double team Puka 20 to 20 to try to force Matthew Stafford, Devontae in the middle of the field, or some of those tight ends? But you better put bodies on him, and you better tackle him once he gets the ball.
I ain't gonna lie, D.O., you right. It ain't gonna be, but I know one person not gonna be worried about the cold. I don't think Puka Nacua cares whether it's 100 or 0.
I don't think he's gonna know if it's cold or not.
You don't know.
Yeah, like
he does not know.
Yeah, Puka don't care.
But when you, I think about the Carolina Panthers game, and you look at the Rams, and they kind of got back to what people forget sometimes can be their identity. RC, you mentioned 13 personnel, but when this team had to have a drive in the fourth quarter, they went to the ground game and they stayed with it. It's almost like Sean McVay was like, look, we're going to possess the football and we're going to churn yards until we get our opportunity to make that play. This is the sequence that you're watching right here. This was back to back to back. After all game long, I have been saying, why in the hell do they keep drop back passing as good as Mike Jackson was playing, as good as JT Horn was playing? When they went to this, it gave Carolina some problems. And I know they're not ripping off big explosive plays, but this is ultimately the end result of what you get. Now you get an angle route from Kyron Williams because you've now baited the defense and you get 6 on the drive that they had to have. So I think, you know, with the weather and the wind gusts, more importantly, you see the quick screen game. You see getting the ball out of Matt's hands quick and let guys make run after catch. But more importantly, don't forget that this team's staple at times can be a physical run game. Yeah. And I think you got to carry that with all of the conditions.
Yeah, look, Dan, I obviously don't know the Bible as well as you, but I do know another verse in Matthew myself. That is the Lord's Prayer, and that's what Dennis Allen is going to have to lean on to stop this 13 personnel run game, guys, because it is such a mismatch. When the Rams put multiple...
You got to pray.
It is in Matthew, right?
Pray in this way.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, because when they put 3 tight ends on the field, we cannot stop them. Statistically, the Rams have the best success rate in football. The Bears' defense, when teams put... I'm trying to stay serious. When teams put multiple tight ends on the field, one of the worst. When they especially love what they do with Blake Corum running off tackle on those duo runs. And Ryan, you referenced the game plan against Green Bay. They started crashing the edges. If they try to do that against this blocking group, I just don't see it ending well. I think we're going to see a lot of the ground game, especially with the weather, and I think the Rams are going to have a lot of success.
I mean, we're saying prayers.
I'm passing the collection
candles,
plate after this show.
The collection plate.
Where's Drewski?
I feel
Donations. Donations.
She said she couldn't have a baby, so I impregnated her with the word of the Lord.
I'm going to go to commercial.
I'm a Christian,
right now.
and I walk in the blood of Jesus.
Commercial right now. we are just getting started on NFL Live. We're going to pivot to Josh Allen in the playoffs. Here, why Swag Goose says, God, it's Friday, people.